All right, welcome to the review of the auctions and opening lead suggestions from Tuesday, November 17th, RBC night game. A reminder that the open game and the limited game both play the same hands. So that's good for our purposes. So what we're going to do is walk through the 21 hands, give a suggested auction and a suggested opening lead, talk a little bit about why. I'm going to try to go faster than the last video I did on this subject from last week's hands. We're going to try and focus on 3 principles of match points today. 1, make bids that limit your hand, put your hand into a tight box and leave the captaining responsibilities to your partner. Make the bid that defines your hand when that's possible. 2, we don't let the opponents play an apart score at the 2 level when they want to. Okay, so that's like they open a heart and raise to 2 hearts and try to play at 2 hearts. When we know they've got an 8-card fit, we go out of our way not to let them do that. And the 3rd principle is when we have an auction to ourselves, it's just us bidding, we're going to tend to be conservative and protect the plus because we know we don't have to go finding magic games at match points. You will do well if you just stay in conservative contracts and take your tricks. Okay, so those are our 3 principles. Don't let them play at the 2 level. Be conservative in your bidding in non-contested auctions. And what was the first thing that I started off with? Oh, make bids that limit your hand. Paints the picture in 1 bid. All right, here we go. Dealer is north, and we have 12 balanced, open a heart. East has a lot of points, but no bid. South has a game forcing raise with 3 trumps. I guess you would start with 1 spade. Goes past, North rebids a no trump to show 12 to 14 balanced. So at this point, we basically know North is 5-3-3-2 with 11 to 14 points, and the 5 is hearts. This is an example of making a bid that limits your hand. North has painted an excellent picture of her hand at this point. Captaincy goes to South. South looks at this hand, and with a roughing value and 12 points, I would think just bids 4 hearts. It's going to be East on lead. They have bid spades, they have bid hearts. We have 6, 8, 12 points, and the opponents have bid a game. This means what about our partner's hand? Probably he doesn't have much. I would look at this hand, and with spades being bid on my left, hearts being bid on my right, I'm just going to lead a trump. That looks like the most passive thing that I possibly could, and I'm just leading small. Next. We have a pass, followed by a pass, followed by 1 diamond by West. 5-4-2-2, where the 5 is a minor, is one of the shapes that I suggest you treat as balanced. So the idea here is if partner bids 1 heart, we'll raise hearts to 2. If partner bids 1 spade, we'll rebid 1 no trump to describe 12 to 14 balanced. And we throw the responsibility for placing the contract or asking questions over to East. All right, North has an interesting hand, a really good hand, 15 count, but her suit has been bid by her right-hand opponent. Is there anything to do about this? I think what I would do is overcall a no trump. Yes, I know I have a singleton club. Do I think 1 no trump or pass is a better description of my hand? If I'm trying to follow the principles of get my hand off my chest in 1 bid, and a lot of bridge bidding is telling the whitest lie. Here the lie is, well, I'm 5-4-3-1 instead of one of the technically balanced hands. Is partner going to try and drive us to a club contract? Probably not. Am I letting her know that I have 15 to 18 with a diamond stopper and something resembling a balanced hand? Yeah. So that's the white lie I'm going to choose with the North hand. And here East could double with any good hand. So the question is, does she want to bid 2 clubs not forcing here? And I think the answer is probably yes. You're 6'4". You're not vulnerable. I would want to bid with this hand. And 2 clubs here is not forcing for a couple of reasons. A, I didn't open the bidding, so really I can't ever have a forcing hand. And 2, if I had a really good hand here, like say I actually had 10 points in sort of a balanced hand, I could just double 1 no trump for penalties. Okay, so this is a counterexample to new suits by responder being forcing. This 2 club bid is definitely not forcing. Now, south, I would suggest that you be playing something called systems on. Okay, so we'll talk about that in just a second. Let's talk about where we want to go with this hand. Partner has 15 to 18 balanced, and we have 9. And we have some 9s and some 10. I have a 9, a 10. We've talked about how you can be pretty aggressive in the situation where your partner is the one no trump overcaller over the opening bidder. Okay, that often plays very well from a taking tricks perspective. So I would look at this hand and want to be in a game, like no doubt about it. The question is, do I want to search for a spade fit? And I really don't think I want to. Like, I have a double stopper in the suit that's been bid on my right. My partner said, don't worry about diamonds, and I've got a pusher there with the 10. I'm not entirely sure that like I'm even interested in playing spades here. If you did want to search for a spade fit, getting back to the systems on thing, you would double. And double here is Stamen. 2 diamonds would be a transfer to hearts, 2 hearts would be a transfer to spades. So if you want to go down the route of looking for spades, you would double. Partner would bid 2 diamonds, and you'd bid 3 no trump. I think I would just bid 3 no trump directly and forget about the spades. This would go pass, pass, pass. I imagine East would lead with a jack of clubs because you have kind of like a sequence here. You've got 2 touching cards, then 1 gap, like you're missing the 9, then you have the 8. So this looks like a good combination of both an attacking lead and a safe lead in the sense that it's not likely to blow a trick. Okay. And if we look at our double dummy here, what does it think about the jack of clubs lead? It thinks that the jack of clubs lead is going to lead to down 1. Oh well. I mean, we got to a game with 15, 18, 20, 24 high cards and a 5-card diamond suit. Nothing wrong with that. If we look at the comparisons here, how many people played 3-0? Actually, only a couple of people played 3-0. Wow. Yeah, I would always get to 3-0 on these 2 hands. Anyway, moving on. Nine balanced passes. 8, 10. My brother and I get into trouble on this hand. Definitely opening a spade with 5-5 in the majors. Again, North has a decent hand with the suit that's been bid on her right. When you are North in these situations, don't think, hey, oh my gosh, I have their suit, I have to bid. You should be thinking exactly the opposite. Hey, I have their suit, I want to defend. East is going to start with 2 diamonds. It's natural, game forcing, and you're following the principle of if you have 2 5-card suits to bid, you're bidding the higher ranking one first. West bids hearts, East bids clubs, and this isn't like force suit forcing. This is just natural bidding. As soon as East bid 2 diamonds, East-West were in a game force. Everything's natural from there. West is going to rebid 3 hearts to show the 5th heart. And at this point, my partner raised to 4 hearts. I think that's perfectly acceptable. You could also try 3 no trump. I don't know. If you just want to, you know, bid 3 no trump here, I guess that's what I would do. I don't have a problem with the raise to 4 hearts. Let's say bid 3 no trump. At this point, like, if you're West, don't be thinking, oh my God, I have a singleton. I don't want to play 3 no trump. Keep in mind, one of the perfect things about this auction is you've told your partner, I have 5 spades and 5 hearts, and he said, I want to play 3 no trump. You've got to trust him to be hearing the picture you've painted and still wants to play 3 no trump and trust that. So we'll pass. Another pass. And this is a gross hand to lead from, but I guess I would lead dummies, first bid suit. I don't want to lead the suits that are, if you have gross lead options, tend to lead the suit that was bid on your left, not the suit that was bid on your right. So I would lead the 3 of spades. And we look at the double dummy. Looks like down 2. And on hand 3, I expect to see a lot of people going down. Yeah, lots of 4 hearts and 3 no trump, and 2 no trump going down. And this is just unfortunate for opening the bidding light. You ran into a misfit. Oh well. I wouldn't change anything about this. All right, we have pass, followed by 11, 13, 16 balanced is an easy one, no trump. We've already followed the principle of letting our partner know what we have in one bid. If we played don't, we could bid 2 clubs with this hand to show clubs and a higher suit. So let's go down that path. If you want to treat this like a one-suited spade hand, I don't really have a problem with that. And again, if we use the concept of systems on here, and this is when they bid 2 clubs over your partner's 1 no trump, you can use systems on. So what that means is double is stamen, 2 diamonds is hearts, 2 hearts is spades. All your normal bids would be on. Like if 2 spades is a transfer to clubs, it's still a transfer to clubs. If 2 no trumps invitational, it's still invitational. Whatever your systems are, everything's still on here. That's what systems on means. So we have 11, partner has 15 to 17. We have no interest in a major, and we just bid 3 no trump. And probably you would lead a spade. That's your longest suit. They didn't search for a major fit, so dummy's not going to have 4 spades. And the card you would choose from this particular holding, this is the top of an interior sequence. Queen 10, 9, 7 is an interior sequence, and you would lead the 10. And I think north-south comes to 9 tricks on this, 10 tricks on this. And if we go to the results, people were often 3 no trump a fair amount of times. They were making exactly a fair amount of times, 5 of each of those I'm counting. And they took 10 tricks twice. That happened. But if you're in the game and you make your 9 tricks, it's 11 out of 15 match points. That's 73% on the board. And it's just completely normal. We have a pass. We have a 1 diamond opening on the 12 count. It's ratty, but open the bidding if you have an excuse. 12, 14, 16 balanced with a diamond stopper. I know a bid I could make that describes my hand in one fell swoop. And West could actually probably make a penalty double of this. Okay, you've got a good lead in the 10 of clubs. You have 8 high card points. Your partner opened the bidding. And I would be willing to gamble that I can beat 1 no trump here. That's what double says. And again, if we're playing systems on here and I'm north, what I want to do is bid stamen. If partner bids a major, that's great. We'll just pass him. And if partner bids 2 diamonds, we'll then bid 2 spades. Okay, and we'll end up in 2 spades. If I just blindly transfer into spades, right, I don't get that extra shot that perhaps partner has 4 hearts. Okay, so again, we'd be playing systems on here, which means we're kind of just going to ignore the double. And we could bid 2 clubs as stamen. I'm not sure if you need to alert this or not, but I'm just showing you how to announce your bids. Do that, like err on the side of disclosing too much, I guess. That's the idea. The sporting thing to do in bridge is to let err on the side of oversharing, I guess. And I've actually just done something here that I hate when people do. Stamen, I guess, is ubiquitous enough, a convention or a name that everybody knows what it is. But let's pretend you were playing against Martians. This is actually kind of an impolite thing to do, to describe the bid as stamen. What you should do is type something like asks for a 4-card major. Okay? Don't use the name of the convention. Like I say, stamen everybody knows, but don't use the name of the convention. Describe what the bid shows or what the bid's asking. All right, East has said his piece. West has really said his piece too. South is going to deny a major by bidding 2 diamonds. And now North can follow through with bidding 2 spades. And that should just be, look, I want to play 2 spades. And I guess everybody kind of, does the Bosa and shrugs. We've bid our hands. And you would lead clubs because that's your sequence. Right? Oh, actually, you wouldn't do that because it would be a lead out of turn. So East would lead his king of diamonds because that's his sequence. And we move on to board 6. another ratty 12 count, but we're going to find an excuse to open with a diamond. South has a perfect takeout double. It's a really good takeout double, actually. You're not getting full weight for the king of diamonds, but this is a very sound takeout double, and it's perfect shape, 4-4-4-1. It's the ideal shape. West doesn't have anything to say here. North has a 10 count, so we need to bid more than just like one heart. And the idea is, I think that you should probably bid 2 hearts to show you're not broke. Something in the, I'm not even sure what the textbook's saying, 9 to 11, 8 to 10, something in that range. And what we're trying to do is distinguish the hands where we're bidding hearts because we got a gun at our head, you know, a partner saying, bid your longest suit, dude, versus, hey, I don't hate the prospects of actually maybe trying to take this hand to game if you've got a little bit of extra. So that's what 2 hearts says here. And South, 1.5, 2, 3, 6 losers. And definitely has the 4 hearts, has the soft value of the Jack of Trump like inside the trump suit, and the aces and kings on the outside. I think I would go ahead and drive this into 4 hearts. If you wanted to be a little bit more delicate, red, not take accountability for the result, you could gently boost to 3 hearts, I suppose, would be one idea. But I think I'm just a 4 heart better. And East is going to be on lead because that's how bridge works. And we have another completely yucky hand to lead from. So you're picturing the dummy being basically the same shape you've got, except with a singleton club instead of singleton heart. It's not a bad idea to lead trumps against this auction, except we've got this stupid singleton king. So I think I would probably rule that out. I'm never touching diamonds, not in a million years. And now it's a question of whether I want to lead a spade or a club. I tend to lead passively, so I think I would lead a 4th best club. And that's going to blow up the trump suit, or not the trump suit, the club suit. Because now Declare can play the 9 from the dummy, which will force the 10. North can win the queen, and you can finesse the 8 on the way back. So it actually turns out a club lead produces 4 club tricks for Declare. If we check our double dummy, everything's making at this point. If we back up 1 trick, looks like, you know, the 4 clubs is as good as anything. The small diamonds, which were not in consideration at all, lead to 1 over trick. And if we go to the Traveler on board 6, wow, people are in hearts making 3. That's because they're losing the finesse to the singleton king offside. But surprisingly few amount of people got to game here, it seems like. Most people in 2 hearts. Okay. Onward and upward. 6, 8, 9, 10 is not enough to open the bidding. 10 is enough to open the bidding when you are 6, 4. So West opens a club. North overcalls a heart. East, I think here could probably bid 1 no trump. 1 no trump should be 8 to 10 with a solid heart stopper. That's fine. Again, like maybe we're a tad light here, but we are making the bid that defines our hand in 1 fell swoop. Like basically we don't have 4 spades when we make this bid because we would have preferred to make a negative double. So what we're saying is, not worried about missing a spade fit. I've got a few values over here. I've got the heart stopped. You know, you could continue if you want to, but my hand is pretty much on the table at this point. And we want to strive to make bids to put our hand on the table and let partner make the decisions. South here has a 10 count and a partner who overcalled. I'm kind of tempted to double here. Like partner really shouldn't be messing around. I'm worried that the suit that they bid on my left is my king jack 3rd. That doesn't seem great. It seems like the club suit might be behaving well for partner, or for Declare, I mean. So I think I'd be tempted to double here. And this is a penalty double. Like it's not a sure thing that you're beating it, but I would be willing to gamble that we can beat 1 no trump here. Most of your doubles of 1 no trump are going to be penalty. It's the major exception to low level doubles being for takeout. This one is, I think I can beat 1 no trump. Partner already knows that you don't have an opening hand, so you must have something really close to an opening hand, and we're gonna trust that he had a reason to make a vulnerable overcall. Okay, we're gonna trust that here we have more than our share of the high card points. We have a good lead in the king of hearts. I suppose you could also lead a fourth best spade if this actually went float. Maybe that's a better idea, but I don't hate my leading options. We'll put it that way. I think West is going to run from 1 no trump double to 2 clubs. North has bid his hand. East has bid his hand. And just like notice all the freedom that comes from having described your hand earlier in the auction. You don't have to get in these situations later on in the auction where you're like, oh man, he doesn't know about such and such, and now I feel like I need to bid. If you do things like bid 1 no trump previous in the auction, no muss, no fuss at this point. All right, and I guess like South probably passes. We bid our hand. We don't have a fit. I do have King Jack 9 of clubs. This hand looks like defense, not offense. Again, we don't have a fit. I think we just pass. On to 8. Oh, lead. Let's lead our sequence. Let's lead the Jack of Spades. And if we look at double dummy, looks like we're headed for down 1. If North-South got 100 on this deal, they would get, looks like about half the match points. 110 for North-South. Oh, I think I've got this backwards. No, I don't. No, I don't. 110 for North-South was 8. 90 for North-South was 5. Not exactly sure what that means for 100, but somewhere between 8 and 5. And it's a 15 top, so basically 50-50 if North-South gets 100 points here. Next. A diamond by West. And 1 heart by North. Right. My brother and I had an adventure on this one. We ended up in 4 spades on the 4-1 fit. I would start with 2 clubs, assuming that that's forcing for 1 round at least. I suppose you could make a negative double. The only problem with emphasizing spades here is that I'm not sure I'm ever going to be able to convince my partner that there's such a discrepancy in my black suit lengths. So I think I would start with 2 clubs. South should definitely raise hearts. You're not vulnerable. You don't have great shape, but you do have 4 trumps. And we're just going to go ahead and raise to the law level. We're going to raise to the 9 trick level because we have 9 trumps. The 9 trick level is the 3 level. We have a bad hand. We want to get there quickly. And we should be playing with our partner that a raise to 3 hearts here is preemptive. If we had a good hand with heart support, we could Q-bid one of the opponent's suits. All right, so 3 hearts. If I were West here, I don't have to worry about spades being right. I don't have to worry about no trump being right. My partner professes to have a good hand with clubs, and I do have 7 diamonds. It seems like I would bid 4 diamonds here. North has bid her hand. The question is, does East want to persist? I'd be worried that partner thinks that 4 diamonds is forcing. Maybe it should be. I'm not 100% sure. I usually don't go bidding things at the 4 level in auctions where my partner's shown a good hand for them not to be forcing. So I guess I would try 5 clubs. And, you know, maybe that's the end of it. And I would lead a 4th best heart. And it looks like Declarer has 4 spades and 7 clubs and is off the 2 red aces for making 5. Yep. What would East-West get for plus 400 here? East-West would get a really nice score for plus 400. There were 5 out of 15 pairs who did that, and that was worth 13 out of 15 match points. On to 9. All right, 6, 12, 13 balanced. We open a club. We're intending to rebid 1 no trump to follow the principle of painting a picture of our hand as quickly and succinctly as we can. South's going to bid a spade. West is going to make a takeout double, showing a good hand with hearts and diamonds, which is exactly what he's got. North is going to take this opportunity to use a support double. redouble. And redouble here just shows 3-card support for Responder's suit. I don't think I would want to bid. Maybe I would want to bid 2 hearts with the East hand. Partner's not going to play us for a lot of values. Don't want to suggest. I guess I do want to take a preference to hearts here. Assuming that partner's going to be able to take a joke and kind of tell from the auction that I don't have a bunch of values here, I guess 2 hearts there is the bid. And knowing South knows that we have a 9-card fit in spades, we have a partner who opened the bidding. Diamonds and hearts are on our left. That's not great. Is there a way I could invite here in spades? And I think yes, there is. Just bid 3 spades. West has bid his hand. I think North has no further interest in going anywhere with this. Like, this is a very soft offensive hand. It's an aceless wonder. It has no shape. North, I believe, would be passing. And West is going to have a gross choice of leads here. I would lead a trump just because I don't want to lead from any of these suits that are headed by naked aces. And if we go to our double dummy, looks like we'd be making 4. Okay, so what would plus 170 get north-south here? Plus 170 would get north-south a 6.5 out of 15, because looks like about a third of the field bid the game. I'm fine with not getting to game here. You're definitely off the 3 aces, and you're going to have to find a 10th trick somewhere. I would be just fine being in 3 here. All right, on to 10. Oh, East has 10. Not quite enough to be opening the bidding, I don't think. Let's see. I think what I would do here if I had a weak 2 and diamonds available is open 2 diamonds. If you're a 1 diamond opener, I'm fine with that. I prefer both of these calls to pass, just because we're looking for excuses to fire the first shot in an auction. So strong recommendation that you either open a diamond or 2 diamonds. Since I have the singleton spade, and it's kind of a marginal opening hand, and my suit's pretty decent, it's king, queen, jack, I think I'm going to lean towards the side of preempting here from a tactical standpoint. So it goes 2 diamonds, pass. West should probably be raising diamonds here. Like, one thing you shouldn't do is pass with this hand. Let north-south compete, to 3 hearts or 3 spades or something, and then bid 4 diamonds on the back end. That's terrible bridge. Make life tough on your opponents. Don't let them communicate. Like with this, I feel like people have this like sneaky thing. They're gonna be like, "Ooh, watch this! I'm gonna pass, and then later on I'm gonna raise diamonds." That's bad thinking. The question is, how many diamonds are gonna give my opponents the biggest problem? Like if I bid 4 diamonds and they bid 4 of a major, would I be happy about that? I think I'd be reasonably happy. If I bid 4 diamonds and they let us play 4 diamonds, am I worried about that? Not really. Your partner probably, like if you picture partner with king, queen, 6th of diamonds, and 3 clubs, he's probably going to have some club length if the opponents don't balance here. We've got a pretty clear path to at least 9 tricks. And the reason I'm saying 9 is because like the number we want to avoid here is going down 2. We don't want to be minus 204 diamonds. So I think 4 diamonds is the right idea. If you wanted to raise to 3 diamonds, I think that's a little wimpy. But the point is, bid what you're going to bid now instead of letting them have some airspace. And 4 diamonds should be strictly preemptive here. It's not encouraging, not anything. So, look at the problem you've given North here. This is so much harder to bid here than if it had gone 2 diamonds, pass, pass, right? Like if you're North facing this auction, you should feel extremely uncomfortable. And I guess what I would do is make a takeout double. The other bid that's in the running, I think, is 4 spades, but ace, queen, 8, 7, deuce at the 4 level, that seems a little unilateral. So I would make the takeout double. And East just is sitting in a rocking chair at this point. Look, dude, I bid my hand. Let's see what happens. And And now South. It's another gross problem. The two candidates are passing and hoping that we can beat 4 diamonds doubled, and bidding 5 clubs. I don't like bidding to the 11 trick level with this little shape. I think what I would do is pass and just hope we're beating 4 diamonds. And I would lead a trump. Let's see how we did. Small trump is down 1. Any of the 13 cards is down 1. In spades, if we look at board 10, the double dummy for spades, looks like North-South doesn't have any game. So plus 200 here should be a good score for North-South. And actually, it did happen one time. 4 diamonds doubled down 1 was 12 match points out of 15. Blah, 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 blah. And yeah. A lot of good stuff to talk about on that one. That's my suggested auction. 12, 15, 16, and we're 4-4-1. Seems like 4-4-1 hands are popping up a lot in this session. But anyway, we opened diamond. I sat West with these cards and I just bid 5 clubs right away. And I think North has nothing to bid. East certainly has nothing to bid. And should South get back in here at this point? Double would just be like, look, I have extra values. Do what looks right. It's still like it's the 5 level, but it's still basically takeout. That doesn't mean that North is probably just going to pass with a lot of his range. Do I feel like I want to get involved here? Do I feel like we have an equity stake in this deal? I hate the singleton king of clubs. I'm really not convinced that we have anything to protect here. I think I would just be a passer. And if we go to this, it turns out that par would have been, so 5 clubs is a maker, East-West, and it turns out that par would be 5 spades doubled by North-South. So it looks like bidding on there turns out to be a winner on this hand. You would be minus 300 for a really, really excellent score. Like it would be 14 out of 15. Or it turns out you can pass, take minus 400. And that turns into, somehow that's only 4 out of 15 match points. Oh, because a lot of people were playing 5 clubs doubled. Wow, 5 clubs making is only 4 out of 15 match points for East-West. Interesting. So it turns out we already have a good score just by virtue of not letting them play 5 clubs doubled. Oh, let's talk a second about the concept of par. We've done this before, but par is equilibrium as far as the final contract is concerned. Here, par is 5 spades doubled by North-South because East-West, like we think of, East-West can bid to 5 clubs, which they've done in this example, and they have 400 points coming to them. And par is when nobody can do any better than that. So the question is, can North-South do better than defending 5 clubs given these 2 companion hands? The answer is yes. They could bid 5 spades, and that would fare better than defending 5 clubs because 5 spades is only down 2. So now we swing the ball back to the other side. Can East-West do better than defending 5 spades? Like, could they bid 6 clubs? They can't do that because 6 clubs is down 1. So we don't want to do that. But it would be better to double than to pass because 5 spades is going down. So double is East-West, equilibrium action. And then we've reached that point where neither side can do any better. So that's the concept of par. It appears that the vacuum cleaner is going upstairs. It is made stay here at Shea Shaw. All right, 11 balanced is a diamond. We have a pass. That is really freaking annoying. East bids a heart. South is going to pass. West continues with the 1 no trump rebid to show the 11 to 14 balanced. I'm going to pause this and go to the microphone here. Maybe that'll help.
Okay, hopefully this will be better and pick up more of my voice and less of the vacuum cleaner. So we're at 1 no trump rebid by West. And I hope this is going. Yes. Okay. North passes. East has 12. So some of this depends on whether West would bypass a 4-card spade suit to bid 1 no trump. That is my style. So I would be bidding like a new minor forcing 2 clubs going with that advice about don't name the convention. You should, when you bid 2 clubs, here's new minor, it should be like artificial asks more. All right. And artificial means that the bid doesn't say anything about the literal denomination you're naming. So when we bid 2 clubs here and call it artificial, that means that the bid has nothing to do with clubs. All right, South is going to pass. West doesn't have 4 spades and doesn't have 3 hearts. So you would explain 2 diamonds as not 4 spades, not 3 hearts. So at this point, East should be picturing either, a 6-3-2-2 with diamonds being the long suit, or perhaps a 5-3-3-2 with 3 spades and 2 hearts, or perhaps a 5-4-2-2 with 2-2 in the majors, 5 diamonds and 4 clubs. Those are all the shapes that are in the picture here. And West's hand is basically on the table right now as far as like actionable information. So do I want to insist on a game with this? I do have a lot of 9s and 8s and 10s. I do have a lot of nice pushing cards. I think I'm going to give, if partner can trust that I'm going to be conservative in my bidding, I think I can bid maybe a slightly heavy 2 no trump here to give partner some leeway, like not to punish partner for having opened the bidding a little bit light. And 2 no trumps just invitational here. So as West, I love the fact that I have a 5-card diamond suit. I hate the spots, and I hate that I have 11 instead of 13 or 14. So I think I would just pass. And now we throw it around to North, who has the next problem of what to lead. So it sounds like the minors are on my right and the majors are on my left. I have a 5-card club suit that hasn't been bid. I guess that's what I'll do, although I'm not in love with the situation because the opponents tend to have clubs on this type of auction where they haven't got a major fit, basically. Like I go out of my way not to lead minors on these types of auctions. That being said, I think I would lead a 4th best club here. That's going to give 4 club tricks to East West. It's actually 4 club tricks they could have picked up, on their own steam. But if we show the double dummy, looks like club is as good as anything else, and it's going to let the contract make. So if East West gets 120 here, it's going to work out to be exactly average. And if you make an over trick, that's going to be worth 10 out of 15. And if you go down 1, that's going to be worth 5.5 out of 15. So again, we see the value of, taking 7 versus 8 versus 9 tricks. All right, we have a pass followed by 1 spade bid, followed by a pass, followed by 1 no trump. I like to play that 1 no trump is semi-forcing. And what semi-forcing means is the partner's allowed to pass if he has a balanced minimum. So if he's 5-3-3-2 with 11 to 14 points, he is going to pass 1 no trump. Otherwise, he's going to bid. One good thing about this is that when partner does something like rebid 2 clubs or 2 diamonds, there's no anxiety about whether that's a 3-card suit. We know that he's bidding based on a little bit of shape. All right, it goes pass, and East does bid 2 diamonds. Goes pass, and we take a preference back to 2 spades. Since we know that's a 5-2 fit, spades score better than diamonds, and we have at least as many spades as diamonds. I would not be doing anything more exciting than bidding 2 spades here. Remember, just be conservative in your constructive bidding. And it goes pass, pass. And South, before she passes, should think about, oh, wait a minute, Lance told us not to sell out when the opponents are playing at the 2 level when they've got a fit. So the operative question here is, do they have a fit? And the answer is they don't necessarily have an 8-card fit here. In fact, they probably don't. Okay, it's probable that the spade distribution around the table is 5 on your right and 2 in the dummy. So when they only have a 7-card fit, when they've had like, this is called a preference auction, you don't have to be nearly as vigilant about competing. In fact, you should definitely be selling out here. By selling out, I just mean pass and defend. And I would be leading a club. That's the most passive thing in my hand. 3 of clubs is what I would lead. Double dummy says that it doesn't matter which of my 13 cards I lead. They should be making 2 spades. And again, I say should. What I mean by that is if they could see all the cards and play perfectly, it would lead to making 2. I think that declare I think the declares actually tend to do better on average than what the double dummy is. There are reasons why you would do better than double dummy in practice. There are reasons that you do worse. Like, for instance, a reason you do better than double dummy suggested over time is because defenders make a lot of mistakes, basically. And the reason that you would, it's harder to defend than it is to declare, just from a trick taking perspective. The reason you would do worse than double dummy is things like you don't get to drop singleton kings offside, right? Anyway, if East-West goes plus 110 here, they are headed for 6.5 out of 15 match points. If they get plus 140, they're headed for 10.5. Okay, so looks like there's a kind of an important war here going on between the just makes and the making 1 over trick, and there's a couple of making 2 over tricks. We have a pass. We have another 4-4-4-1 hand. You open a diamond, the higher of your 4-card minors. North is going to bid a spade. Got a pretty good hand, 15 with 5-4 in the majors. South is going to rebid 2 clubs. Not 1 no trump here. Please, not 1 no trump. 1 no trump's wrong for 2 huge reasons. First of all, to undersell the strength of your hand. You have 8, 16, and a 1 no trump bid would show 11 to 14. So that's an egregious misdescription of your hand. And the other thing it would show is more spades than 1. So never select a white lie that's wrong on 2 separate counts, right? If we're going to tell a white lie, if our only choices are white lies, let them only be wrong like in one direction. Here, like, I don't know what I see 1 no trump rebid on this hand all the time. I don't know what the mental trick that is being played there is. I feel like I know this is wrong on this level, and I know it's wrong on this level, so I'm going to do it because it can't possibly, I have no idea how the psychology works here. It's amazing to me. Anyway, why would you knowingly do something that was wrong on 2 separate counts? North should bid 4th suit forcing. So we're going to be bidding 2 hearts because it's the 4th suit. We happen to have hearts here, but that's not necessarily going to be the case. And South can raise hearts. At this point, I would just be a 4-heart bidder by North. And both, not a 4-heart bidder by West. Just going to go pass 4 hearts. Pass, pass, pass. And both North-South here should feel like their hand is a little bit underrepresented. Perhaps even like, what if South bid 3 spades over 2 hearts? That would probably be a splinter. Maybe that's a lot better. Maybe that would have been a better bid here. And then you wouldn't worry that, oh gosh, this is more than partner's expecting in the dummy. And North has kind of it's a 15 count, but it's 5-4-2-2. I'd be slightly worried that maybe there was a slam here, but I don't know. And it turns out that it looks like there is a slam here, right? We're just off the ace of clubs and the trumps behave, and the diamonds, any way you want to play them, are behaving. I would be leading. God, the theme here is just gross opening lead choices. I guess I would lead a trump. I don't know. If we look at the double dummy, I think everything is going to be making 6. We need to get a pass on the table first. Yep, everything's making 6. Oh, actually, everything is making 7 except the ace of clubs. You have to cash the ace of clubs because if you don't, declare can eventually come to 5 spades, 4 hearts, and 4 diamonds. So double dummy, it was actually necessary to cash the ace of clubs against 4 hearts to hold it to 6. And if we go to the summary here, a ton of 480s. There is 1 5 10. And looks like 3 pairs bid a slam. 2 pairs were in hearts. 1 pair was in no trump. So going back to the autopsy on that one, I think maybe the idea was to back at this bid. And I'll tell you one reason why I'd be a little bit scared to make this bid. And even now, like, I'm almost sure I've got to be right here that 3 spades is a splinter, but like, could it be anything else? Could it just be spades? Like, I couldn't want this to really be just spades at this point, could I? I don't know. What I'd want there to be is a way to show that I have a singleton spade and extra values, but I'm honestly like not sure how to do that. So maybe it was just best to bid 3 hearts. And remember, South doesn't know that North has hearts the point that he bids 3 hearts, right? And I guess the question in my mind is, would a bid of 3 spades imply that you had hearts? And I don't know. So moving on to 15. We have a pass, followed by 11 to 14 balanced, opens a minor. Followed by North overcalling a heart on a good hand with a 5-card suit. Followed by East bidding 1 spade. If you play negative doubles, this shows at least 5 spades. Followed by South defining her hand in 1 bid. Partner, I have 6 to 10, and I have 3 of your trumps. Followed by West passing. Nothing extra to say about this hand. There's a failure to bid 2 spades or make a support double here because you don't have spades. So at this point, like, partner knows you have 0, 1, or 2 spades. All right, North is going to pass because she's got nothing left to say. This auction is one where we've got to not let them play 2 because they want to play 2. All right, so the question is, how do we balance against this? And I believe the answer is we just bid 2 spades. And that might be the end of things. If we throw the ball back in North's court, do we know that the opponents have a fit here? No. It might be the case that the East has 6 spades and West has 1 or 0. I suppose that's possible. But this auction isn't screaming that we have to balance. Let's look at what par is on this deal for kicks and jollies. Par is minus 110, which means that North-South can't compete any higher, because if they did, they'd be 1 trick too high, and then East-West could double them and get to 200. So the answer is we've reached par here in 2 spades. And East-West making 110 would be a little bit less than average because it looks like 140 is being made like half the time and 170 is being made about half the time. If we go to our double dummy here, what does South have to do to hold this to 2? South would have to lead a small heart, which is going to happen. So it would end up with, I don't know. I don't know how the play is going to go from here. It's not the point of the video. Move on. 16. All I know is on the score slip, most people were making 3 and 4. I don't think there was anyone who'd made just 2. All right, we have 16 balanced. We get to describe that hand in one fell swoop. Should North interfere here? I think that's just pushing it too much to interfere with this hand. If you did want to bid and you were playing don't, you would bid 2 diamonds to show diamonds and a major. Diamonds and a higher ranking suit. All your bids in don't are that suit plus a mystery higher ranking suit. East has enough that I think you insist on 4 hearts here. You know there's an 8-card heart fit, and I think you know there's enough values for game. If you're playing Texas transfers, the idea would be to bid 4 diamonds here. And partner bids 4 hearts. And the reason we're bidding to the 4 level immediately is because we have no aspirations other than 4 hearts here. Like, we expect to make 4 hearts, but we don't have any aspirations higher than 4 hearts. And what this auction does is if you immediately bid 4 diamonds with the hands that have no further aspirations, it frees up the following auction. If we bid 2 diamonds, a Jacoby transfer to hearts. Oh, not that. Hearts. So say we conducted this auction and then now bid 4 hearts on the back end. This auction now can be a mild slam try, okay, because we went slower than the auction where we just immediately bid our Texas transfer. So 4 hearts, if they get there on the Texas transfer auction, I would be leading either a spade or a diamond with the north hand, either the 2 of spades or the 4 of diamonds. And let's see how those are doing. In fact, the king of clubs is the only lead that will hold it to just making. Isn't that interesting? Huh. Okay, moving on. Eight, 10, 11, 12. We should be opening a heart and rebidding 1 no trump. Another 4, 4, 4, 1 hand. That's crazy. If we go to our bridge probabilities, and we go to the Wikipedia page on this, hand pattern probabilities, 4441 is 3%. But boy, it seems like it's popping up more often than 1 in 34 or whatever here. Anyway, by the way, like, I'm not a conspiracy theorist about any of this. I believe that this is all random, and that, you know, it's not like the ACBL is spitting out deals that are out to get you. That's I'm not a conspiracy theorist on this. Okay, so we double with the 4, 4, 4, 1 hand. And South is going to make the bid that defines our hand in 1 fell swoop, which is 2 hearts. I don't think I want to bid 3 hearts with this hand just because of the balanced shape. But if you played that 3 hearts here is preemptive, which I suggest you would, because if you had a good hand here, you could use Jordan 2 no trump. You might bid 3 hearts with this hand. Let me ask myself this. If it goes 2 hearts by me and 2 spades on my left, pass back to me, am I going to feel like still bidding 3 hearts? I think the answer is yes. So that's an argument for just bidding 3 hearts right away. Like, look, this is gross. 4 triple 3 shape is gross shape to be competing higher. Here, I'm going to anticipate the 2 spade bid on my left, and I think I'm just going to jack the auction up to 3 hearts immediately. Part of this is based on being not vulnerable, for sure. So, and the reason I'm saying 3 hearts is preemptive here. Like, if they'd passed on my right, 3 hearts would be a limit raise. But in competition over the double, I could bid 2 no trump Jordan with all my good hands with trump support. So 3 hearts should be preemptive. Maybe West could make a responsive double. I think a responsive double would show 4 spades. I'm not entirely sure about that. I have 9 working points for partner, and by working I mean points that are in suits that he's implied. Pass seems a little bit weak to me, but like, would a responsive double show 4 spades here? I don't know what the answer to that is. And I feel like I've sat here for forever, and I don't feel like selling out to 3 hearts. So I think now I've talked myself into a responsive double with this. North and South have both bid the full limits of their hands. Should East go any farther with this? Sounds like they have 9 hearts. We probably have an 8 card fit. There's negative adjustments. What I'm doing here is kind of thinking about the law of total tricks. I'm coming up with a number that's going to be like 17, maybe a little bit lower than that. Maybe like 16 and a half. Is it justified to bid at the 4 level with 16 or 17 trumps? No. I wish I knew the answer to that responsive double question. In fact, let's do some research here. What if we went back to Google and said responsive double in the auction, 1 heart double, 3 hearts double. Let's see if Larry Cohen wrote anything about this. One heart double pass. Okay, responsive doubles part 2 here is the auction we've got. In each case, East is responding to West double with a double of his own. Hence, the idea is when an opponent voluntarily raises, you abandon penalty doubles. Yep. East double in auction 1 could show hand A below. He wishes to compete, so it could have hand B. Without responsive doubles, he would had to chance 3 spades, taking the risk of playing in a 4-3 spade fit. So this still doesn't exactly answer my question. Does he have to have 4 spades to make this bid? Anyway, that's how I would go down a rabbit hole when I have a question like this, is I just go to Google and type the auction in. Anyway, I think as East not knowing the answer to this question about whether this promises 4 spades or not, I think I'm a passer, kind of, no matter what. If I knew that double promised 4 spades, which I obviously don't think it does because I made the double with only 3, and like I haven't memorized any of these auctions. It's just kind of like what makes sense, and it seems to me like West double needs to be more flexible than promising 4 spades here. Anyway, I would pass and hope for the best with the East hand. And I would normally like to lead a trump, but here we've been dealt how many dry kings have been in this set? It's crazy. I'm just going to lead the Jack of spades. And double dummy is down 1 no matter what I choose to lead. So East-West would pick up 100. If we go to the par, that was board 17, right? Go to the par on that. Par is 100 for north-south in 3 hearts doubled down 1. Look at that. And East-West would be getting 9 match points out of 15 for plus 100. Plus 100 was actually never achieved by 3 hearts doubled. It was always 3 hearts going down 2 undoubled. All right, interesting hand. Moving on, we got 4 hands left. I absolutely can't get through with these things in less than an hour. Maybe that's not important. I always feel pressure to condense the videos, but it's people's business whether they want to listen to them or not. Maybe I'm less boring than I think I am. All right, pass. 10 for South. If I open 2 diamonds here, red on white, is that the right idea? Ugh. It's not a good suit. I'm red against white. I have stuff on the outside. I'm going to reject 2 diamonds. Now the question is, do I want to open 1 diamond? 2.5 spade losers. The heart losers 3.5. 2 clubs is 5.5. 1.5 diamonds is 7. All right, here's where I'm going to come out. I've thought this long already. I think pass is probably not the right idea tactically. I'm going to open 1 diamond. And the reason I'm opening 1 instead of 2 is because my offense to defense ratio is kind of low for a preempt here, especially for a red on white preempt. If you estimate how many tricks you'd have on offense in a diamond contract, like I'm guessing, something like 3.5 diamonds, and maybe one of those outside cards would score. Like pretend that the dummy was broke. How many tricks would you be taking in diamonds? And I think the answer is like 4.5. And what if the opponents played a trump contract? How many tricks of defense would you have? And that's more like 2.5, 2, somewhere in there. So my defense is higher than it might be, and my offense is lower than it might be. And that's not my idea of particularly a red on white second chair preempt. So now it's a question of one diamond or pass, and I'm going to choose one diamond because I strongly believe in opening the bidding when it's close. So that's the decision tree. As West, I think I would make a takeout double with this. Is that right? Ooh, it's a little light. Little light. All right, I think I've talked myself into pass. I think that's super close to a takeout double, though. All right, North is going to bid a spade. South has a couple of choices here. You could rebid one no, treating 6-3-2-2 as balanced. I don't think I want to do that. I can either rebid 2 diamonds or 2 spades, like raise on 3 cards here. Maybe that's the right idea. Maybe raising, if your partnership allows, and I strongly suggest that you allow as much room for judgment in a partnership as possible. Maybe this is one of the hands you should make a 3-card raise on. So let's bid 2 spades with this. So most of the time we're going to have 4 cards for this, but sometimes we're going to have 3 cards in a roughing value. I just feel like, showing this fit for partner, and it's potentially a 4-3 fit, but I feel like that's better information to transmit on my rebid than just rebidding 2 diamonds or 1 no seems gross here. So we'll go pass, and North is going to just bid 4 spades. Pass, pass, pass. More yucky leads, but we're going to choose the most passive thing, which would be the 2 of hearts. And if we look at double dummy, looks like the 2 of hearts is one of our better leads to down 1. If we look at the traveling slip, and down 1 doesn't mean that they should be bidding 4 spades. Everybody should be bidding 4 spades on these 2 hands. And it happens that we're off 4 tricks because we're missing a bunch of aces. But, oh my goodness, nobody bid 4 spades on these hands. Isn't that interesting? Huh. Yeah, I don't think you could stop 2 of me from bidding 4 spades here. Nobody in the field did, though. Interesting. All right. 3 more hands. 7's a pass, another pass. We have 17 balanced. We have a bid for that. East has a balanced hand. Balanced hands don't interfere against strong no trumps. And South, so one idea is that South would be worried about the singleton heart here. I guess I get that. The alternative to pass is to bid Stamen. And the problem with that is that most of the time, partner's either going to respond 2 diamonds or 2 hearts. And then we're going to be forced to bid 2 no trump, which is invitational on only 7 points. So I think what we're going to do here is just have South pass, and West is also going to pass with a flat hand. East would lead her 4th best heart. That looks like the most normal thing in the world to do. And North-South are going to end up making 3 in a double dummy basis. Again, just a disclaimer, when I say things like North-South are going to make 3, that's assuming a slightly different universe where everybody plays double dummy. Don't take that to mean you misplayed the hand or whatever if you don't take that many tricks. 8, 10, 12. Balance should open a club. It's kind of gross, but whatever. Oh, with 3, 3 in the minors, we're gonna open clubs. East should just respond 1 no trump. This is 6 to 10 points without a major, and everybody's going to be done. Very simple auction. South has yet another gross hand to lead from. I would always try to lead a major on this auction. So I think what I'm going to do is lead the 2 of spades. I could be convinced that that's a terrible lead, but my reasoning is I'm leading a major on this auction, and I have 2 cards that can fit partner's potential help in spades, whereas I only have 1 card in the heart suit that could mesh. So like, think about leading spades here. If you find partner with the ace or the queen, it's going to tend to be like a lead that doesn't hurt anything. That's 2 cards that you could be giving partner. If you lead a heart, you're kind of playing partner for like the king or the jack in a way. I guess, on a lot of layouts, the ace is going to work. If we go back to our exercise of estimating how many points partners got, well, we've got a pretty good hand here. We've got 13. The opponents didn't even sniff game. So I would estimate that my partner has about 5 or 6 or 7 points on an auction like this. So there's room for him to have a card in either major. It turns out that if we go to our double dummy, everything in our hand leads to 2 over tricks. So it turns out it doesn't even matter. And the spade suit is one that could be picked up by Declare anyway. Like Declare on a double dummy basis can always get 4 spade tricks here by finessing you out of both the king and the jack. Simplest auction of the night, though. A club pass, a no trump. How many people played a no trump on 20? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. 13 out of 16 pairs played 1 no trump or 1 no trump doubled. And our last board of the night is a pass by North, followed by a 1 spade opening with the 11 count with 6 spades, followed by a pass by South. West looks to have about invitational strength here. I don't think this qualifies for a 2 club bid. I would be bidding 1 no trump semi-forcing and then try to find out a way to invite on the next round of the auction. Goes pass. East is going to rebid 2 spades to express a couple of things. First of all, not a whole lot of extra values. And secondly, a 6th spade. And I'm going to stick with my original plan of inviting here. And I'm going to invite in no trump, not spades. This does not look like a hand where we want to play spades. It looks like a hand where we want to play no trump. So a bid 2 no trump. Partner could pass that. Partner could raise to 3. Partner could continue bidding spades. But I think this is the most flexible action, is to bid 2 no trump here. And this is invitational and natural. If I were East, I'd feel like, I've said my piece and I would pass. And if we look at double dummy, 21, move my little head here. East-West can take 10 tricks in spades and 8 tricks in no trump. So it turns out it actually is important to be in spades here because of the diamond suit basically being wide open. East-West would take more tricks in spades than they would in no trump. Back to our auction, what would I lead here? I would lead the 10 of hearts. I'm leading the 10 as opposed to 4th best because I have that touching sequence at the top. I have 10, 9, 7. So the 10 is going to tend to work out, better than the 6 here, just over the range of things that could be happening in the heart suit. On this deal, does it matter if I had led the 6 or the... It actually doesn't. Declare's just always going to get 3 heart tricks. So it turns out it doesn't matter. Anyway, that is the auction and opening lead review for November 17th. Hope you guys got some good stuff out of this, and we'll talk to you soon with another video. All right, have a good day.